The news of career mode being deserted for another year by EA Sports has hit the fans hard. Once again, there is more discontent, with people contemplating boycotting FIFA 19 until the company makes some desperately needed massive steps forward. Amongst all of this, there is another option for people who want to play a newly released football simulation game, Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. My goal in this video is to explore whether fans of the FIFA franchise should consider and possibly make the purchase of PES this year. It's worth mentioning at this point that I am in the process of deciding if I should buy PES, so if you're in the same position as me, hopefully I can help us both come to a decision by the end of this video. So to do this, I'm going to split it into sections, starting with the overall gameplay. Now, I can't tell you whether or not the gameplay is good or bad, because only you can decide that for yourself. I would strongly recommend downloading the free demo and trying it out for yourself. I will say that as a regular FIFA player, the gameplay is very different and will take a bit of time to get used to. You should probably play a few games first to get a feel for the game, and then read up on some of the different controls. What's most notably unlike FIFA is the dribbling. You can't just wiggle the right analog stick and expect your player to feint, step over and cut inside, which is the one thing that has been very hard for me personally to get used to and not very fun. In terms of tactics, PES is much more thorough than FIFA. If you're someone that likes to have complete and in-depth control over the way your team is set up and plays, then Pro Evo certainly shines in this regard. FIFA 19 does look set to have a new feature which gives the player greater control, but it still doesn't seem to be on the level that PES offers. Visually, you guys can also make the decision for yourself. I personally think it looks very good, especially in the fully scanned and licensed stadiums like the Veltins Arena of Schalke. A cluster of minor touches added together makes for a really pleasant visual experience. I'd say that in this regard there isn't too much difference between PES and FIFA. You'll have a good experience regardless. Next up is career mode, or as it's known on PES, Master League. If, like me, you'll predominantly play career mode / Master League, then it's obvious that licenses are going to be a big selling point coming over from FIFA. When your team doesn't even have the right name, kit colour and badge, it can be a real turn-off feature. This year, Konami have clearly been trying to divert the money they gained from losing the UEFA licenses towards adding in more licensed content, which is a real positive start for sure. Here is a list of all of the leagues that have been announced so far, with more subject to be introduced as we go along. Now, I have to add something here. If you plan on buying this game purely on Xbox One, you may be out of luck. However, if you are a PS4 or a PC player, there is something you can do to improve on this. There are websites created and ran by volunteers which have complete graphics packs for teams and leagues, meaning that if you're on one of these two consoles, you can port over the badges, names, kits and competition logos over to the game and then replace the generic ones. This is a massive bonus because it means that you can get that authentic experience and no longer have to worry about the lack of licenses. The only problem is that Xbox doesn't support this feature as of yet, which is why I would certainly have to get it on my PC should I decide to buy it. Elsewhere in Master League, the likes of player personality features are present in something that is a very interesting dynamic, which FIFA lacks. This could be very interesting to experiment with your players to see which roles suit them the best within a formation. One new addition which they did announce was the introduction of pre-season tournaments. The high profile International Champions Cup has been added, which should make pre-season a little bit more fun and appealing to play. Should I decide to buy PES, I could very well decide to start a Master League series with Scottish Premier League side Glasgow Rangers. So if you're interested, be sure to have a look out for that after release. In terms of the player career, also known as become a legend in PES, any fans of this game mode will absolutely love the PES version. It is by far greater than what FIFA player career mode has to offer. Reserve teams, practice matches, the ability to become a captain, greater customization, negotiation options, training to play in more than one position, and even the ability to start on the bench. These were at least features of PES 2018 and before, and as far as I'm aware, they will remain for PES 2019. Moving on to online, if you're an avid FIFA Ultimate Team player, then my club could be a very good alternative for you should you want to switch from FIFA. The lack of licenses doesn't really affect the mode because the badges are rarely present and chemistry isn't affected by players playing in the same leagues or being from the same nation. It instead comes down to how suited they are to your My Club manager tactics. There are several different components which make up each player's chemistry. I personally think this is a far better way to implement chemistry rather than the way EA Sports do it, because it enables you to essentially have any players you want around the world to play with each other rather than being limited. The single player packs have been withdrawn for PES 2019 and will instead be more similar to Ultimate Team packs, so there isn't much change there. There is also a comm mode which enables your team to play at the hands of the AI, which is handy if you want it on in the background whilst you're doing something else. The only missing features are that of squad battles and foot champions, which do actually limit your options. This is a shame because there could be something good made out of them. However, it doesn't bother me personally very much, as I'm more of a seasons person. Tournaments do feature in PES, unlike in recent FIFA games, so that's a bonus. Konami are also introducing more and more legends. In other areas, the Asian Champions League is available in PES if you're looking for your knockout football fix. With Konami losing the UEFA licenses, I suspect that the AFC Champions League may actually become more popular amongst PES players for people who are looking to get that fix. It's definitely worth giving it a shot, even if you aren't that interested or have limited knowledge of the Asian leagues. Overall, I think there could very well be plenty of FIFA fans purchasing PES this year. The fact that it releases a month earlier than FIFA gives it a big upper hand, because people are desperate for their football fix with the European season starting up once again. For me, it totally rests on the gameplay now. There are more than enough features there for me to attract me to buy the game, especially getting it on PC, because you then have the option to both download graphics for clubs and even install mods. All that is left is the gameplay. I'm personally going to keep playing the demo and see if I can get to grips with the gameplay before making my decision. But at the moment, it certainly looks as though I may very well be purchasing the game on release. And if so, remember to look out for my Glasgow Rangers Master League save. Now it's over to you guys. Are you considering switching to Pro Evolution Soccer? Or perhaps buying both FIFA and PES? Are you already a solely PES player and want to continue playing only that? Let me know in the comments section and I'll get back to you. I really hope this video has helped you come closer to making a decision if you were trying to decide beforehand. I'll leave it with you then. Thanks very much for the view. Subscribe to the channel for more regular gaming content and drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. I'm Brom18 and I'm out.